welcome back to my channel. My name's Sophie and today's video is going to be one of my first Halloween themed reading vlogs. So if you enjoy this video, please remember to like if you enjoy it and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. I post new videos every Sunday. So let's get into the reading for this reading vlog. So there's 4 books that I'm aiming to get to in this reading vlog. The first is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I think I'm going to begin with this one. And then we have The Once and Future Witches by Alix E. Harrow, followed by My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, and then finally The Sanatorium by Sarah Pearse. So quite a few different vibes. We've got 2 thrillers, We've got like a vampire romance, I think, and then a sort of like witchy fantasy book. I'll tell you a bit more about each book as and when I read them. But yeah, I think I'm going to start with The Only One Left by Riley Sager. So I'll check back in with you guys when I've started this one. Hi guys, so I'm just checking in as I have now started reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager. This is my first ever Riley Sager book. I'm currently about 90 pages in. So I'll just tell you briefly what's happened so far. I won't go into the plot for the rest of this book because that will spoil it, but I'll just tell you briefly what this one's about. So this one we're following Kit, and she is a caregiver. So she works for a company that assists the elderly who need like living care and stuff. And she's recently only just come back to work for this company. She was suspended for 6 months pending an investigation regarding her previous patient. And it turns out the previous patient was actually her own mother. So what happened is caregivers are supposed to lock away all the medication overnight in a lockbox and not leave it out for the patient to have access to. And she forgot to lock some medication away, and her mum ended up taking loads of the medication and overdosing, and she died. And Kit was investigated because they didn't know if she deliberately left it out or she was assisting in the death. So that's what's happened, and she's back to work, and her next assignment is basically an assignment that no one else wants, and it's to be the caregiver for an old lady called Leonora Hope. Leonora Hope is suspected of murdering her entire family back in the 1920s. I think this is set in the 1980s. There's a chilling nursery rhyme where she hung her sister, she stabbed her mother and slit her father's throat, and she was never prosecuted. They didn't have enough evidence to prove her guilt or to prove her innocence. So we don't actually know if she did or didn't do the murders. So Kit goes to live with Leonora. There's a very small sort of contingent of staff, is that the right word? So you've got Mrs. Baker, who's the housekeeper, and her job is to just basically oversee the house, make sure all the staff are in line. And then we've got a cleaner called Jessica, we've got a chef, and then we've got a groundskeeper, and obviously now Kit the nurse. And Mrs. Baker is very old-fashioned. She expects all the staff to call Leonora Miss Hope because it's too informal for them to just call her Leonora. They all have to wear like really old-fashioned uniforms. Like she has to wear she's not a nurse, but she has to wear a nurse's uniform. And Jessie has to wear a maid's outfit, and we've gotten to the point where Kit is starting to get to know Leonora a bit more. And we've also got, between chapters, we've got some like bits that Leonora has typed. So she had polio as a child and lost the use of her legs, and then she's had a few strokes, and she kind of can only use her left arm, I think it is. So she can tap like once for no, twice for yes, and she can type on a typewriter, but obviously very slowly with one arm. So she's typing out to Leonora like what's actually happened. So we obviously don't know what has happened yet, but I guess as the chapters progress and we learn a bit more about the house and stuff, we'll find out whether Leonora actually did it. Now, I think we've had a few bits about Leonora's past. There's some portraits in the house of all 4 of the family members. 3 of them have been covered up because they were the deceased family members, and Leonora's one is still there. And it's been signed by an artist called Peter. Now, we know from some flashback that when Leonora was younger, she had a little bit of a crush on Peter, and there was a bit of animosity between her and her sister because her sister also liked Peter, or was pretending to like Peter to make Leonora angry. So far, what I think, just vibes, just vibes that I'm getting from the characters. I don't think it was Leonora. I think it was Mrs. Baker who did the murders, or Peter. And maybe Mrs. Baker because she's back. She's basically not given up her life, but she had a fiance. So she left after the murders. She left, and then her fiance died. She came back and decided to take care of Leonora for her whole life. Or it was Peter. I don't know. I'm leaning more towards it was Mrs. Baker, and just the way she is, she's kind of, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't read a lot of thrillers. I want to read a lot more. So if you've read this, you're probably laughing at my guess. Because like, it's the housekeeper, it's so obvious. Like, yeah, that's who I think it could be. I mean, I probably will change my mind as we get a bit more clues and stuff. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one so far. Like, the atmosphere of like the creepy mansion is really cool. And like the characters, like I don't know who to trust, because like the cleaner, Jessie, has kind of wanted to make friends with Kit. Jessie has taken Kit on like a murder tour and shown Kit where all the murders happened, and like bloodstains are still in the carpet, because like the mansion is basically as it was left when Leonora was 17 when the murders happened. And yeah, really, really creepy. And yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I think I'll check back in with you guys once I've read a bit more and let you know what I'm thinking then. But yeah, enjoying this one so far, and I'm really excited to continue, even if it is creeping me out a little bit. So I'm just checking back in, as I've just got about 100 pages left of The Only One Left by Riley Sager. And I have to say, I'm still really enjoying this one. The atmosphere is really creepy, like the house is literally falling apart. There was kind of like a little, not an earthquake, but they say it was an earthquake, and there's cracks appearing in the walls, part of the land has fallen into the sea. And yeah, it's just like, it's really dangerous, like the railings are breaking, and yeah, really, really spooky atmosphere. The characters, it's really interesting. There's such a mix of characters. Mrs. Baker and Archibald, who is the chef, they were employed by the Hope family in 1929 when the murders happened. They've been working at this house for ever since the thing happened. And they're all really, like, they're keeping everything hushed up. So Kit finds, well, she's given a picture that kind of opens up a bit more of the story of what happened to this family. And she questions Archie about it, and he's like, that never happened, and like brushed at her off. It seems like everyone's lying, and like I do think Kit is a bit too trustful of everyone in this house. So something happened to the previous caregiver, and when I last updated you, it was literally like the next chapter that we found out what had happened to her, kind of. Still not fully known exactly what happened, but she's very trusting of all these people, and really all these people, someone's hiding something. I wouldn't be trusting anyone in this house, but she's very trusting of like the cleaner, and I don't think she has anything to do with it, but you just never know, do you? The original mystery of like what did actually happen to this family, we are uncovering a lot more as the story goes on. I expect in the last 100 or so pages that we are going to get a lot of reveals, and yeah, I just really hope that the reveals are as good as the rest of this book has been. I really don't want to be let down by this, but yeah, I am really, really enjoying this one so far, and I can't wait to get this one finished. And I think I'll definitely be checking out more of Riley Sager's books. People seem to love or hate his books, but yeah, I'm really interested to see where I sit on some of his books. But yeah, really, really enjoying this one. And yeah, the atmosphere is just so spooky, and characters are just so creepy, and yeah, it's just so, so good. Hey guys, so I'm just checking back in, as I have now finished reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager. I'm going to give this one 4.5 stars. I loved this one. The last 110 pages that I have just read were just absolutely fantastic. There's twist after twist after twist, and I didn't see any of it coming. But then there were hints throughout it. If you've read this book, then you know what's happened. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. But yeah, there were so many hints throughout, and I'm looking back now and thinking, oh my god, how did I not realise? Yeah, this was really, really good. I had a really good time with this one. Like I said, the atmosphere was really creepy, like the spooky setting. The characters were really interesting. Like, this was just absolutely fantastic in my opinion. I'm definitely going to be checking out more of his book. I'm trying to get more into reading thrillers, because I do enjoy them when I read them. I just don't think of picking them up, and I don't know of many good thriller authors either. Like, obviously I'm going to try more of Riley Sager's. I've got quite a few Freida McFadden books, and I've read a few, I think I've read 2 Ruth Ware books. So if you have any recommendations for some great thriller authors, please do let me know. But yeah, really, really enjoyed this one. So great start to this vlog. So that moves us on to the next book for this vlog, which is going to be The Once and Future Witches by Alix E. Harrow. I don't know too much about this one. All I know is like feminist witches. That's all I know. So I'm going to go and start this one, and I'll check back in with you when I've maybe read the first sort of 100 or so pages. I can tell you a bit more about what this one is about. Hey guys, so I'm just checking back in, as I have now started reading The Once and Future Witches by Alix E. Harrow. I've just read the whole of part 1, and I'm not really sure how best to describe the plot of this one. So we follow 3 estranged sisters who somehow all end up in the same town of New Salem. None of the sisters know that the other sisters are there. One of them arrives after fleeing from her hometown after murdering her father, who was abusive and horrible. And the 3 of them are kind of like, there's some sort of like magic that like pulls them into the town centre where some sort of witchcraft happens. And then the 3 of them are reunited, and we kind of go from there. So the younger sister Juniper is not a troublemaker, but you know how women are, you know, this is set in the, is it the late or the early 1800s? In the late 1800s, so women of this age that, you know, had opinions, wanted better for themselves, are troublemakers. So she's a troublemaker and she joins the Women's Association. She wants votes for women, she wants rights for women, she wants everything for women, and she wants witchcraft back for women as well. And then we've got the middle sister, Agnes, been living in this town. She's just kind of trying to fly under the radar. She has gotten herself in the family way and she decides that she's going to get rid of it and changes her mind. So she's pregnant, she's not married, you know, scandalous. And then there's the older sister who works at the local library and has been doing research. But yeah, so the three sisters were estranged, they come back together and had a bit there. So there's going to be a women's association march, and the mayor or the mayoral candidate manages to cancel it because he doesn't want votes for women or anything like that. So he manages to cancel it. Juniper decides that her and a few of the women are going to do it anyway, and they do some witchcraft, and then we just kind of go from there. They get kicked out of the women's association, they form their own little thing, and I guess we're going to go from here where they're going to try and bring witchcraft back to the town. Hi guys, so I'm just checking back in as I have only got 90 pages left of The Once and Future Witches by Alix E. Harrow. I have to say I am liking this, I'm not loving it. I think this is going to turn out to be about a 3-star read for me, mainly because I just don't really feel all that connected to the characters. Like the three sisters, as a collective, I enjoy them when they're together. When they're apart, I'm not really that interested. Like Juniper, the youngest one, is the most interesting out of the lot. We've got Agnes and then the older sister, Bella, and those older two have kind of got a bit of a love interest. The middle one is like very vague. The older one, she has a female love interest. There is a lot of talk regarding racism and like slave trade in here because this is set a few generations after slavery was abolished. So there is sort of themes of that in here, which is important to read about. But yeah, I'm just not really interested in any of the sisters' individual storylines really. When they're together, it's a bit interesting. Like I love the sort of family dynamic. On their own, not really interested. The side characters I kind of find a bit more interesting. And then like the sort of the villain, the bad guy, he's just so not there. I'm just not really interested because he's just so non-existent in this story. And considering this is like 500 pages long, I don't understand why it's so long. I feel like this could have wrapped up 100 pages ago. This didn't need to be as long as it is. Like it's just being dragged out. We're going off on a lot of tangents. And I don't know if the tangents will come back round to be related to the main sort of plot, but I'm sort of reading it and it's not drawing me in, and I'm like, something's happening. I'm like, where did you come from? How did you get there? Like, yeah, I'm a bit disappointed by this one because I was really interested in this one because I know it's like a suffragette witches kind of book. It's trying to do too much and it's just not doing any of it very well, really, I don't think. Yeah, I think it's going to be about a 3-star. Like, I'm liking it. It's dragging on a bit now. I'm just ready to be done with it. But yeah, I'm a bit disappointed with this one. So yeah, I'll check back in with you guys when I wrap this one up, but I don't think I'm going to have anything else really to say about it, but we'll see. I have now finished the Once and Future Witches by Alix E. Harrow. I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I liked it. It was good. It wasn't really anything that stands out to me, and yeah, I just felt like it was a bit long, and the last like 90 pages, it wrapped up really quickly for the amount of things that kind of were dragged out throughout the rest of the book. So yeah, not my favourite this one, but it's done now. And this is the thickest one for this vlog anyway. So the next one I'm going to be reading for this vlog is My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I don't know anything about this one. I'm just quite happy to go in blind. I think it's like a murder mystery. Yeah, not really sure. So I'll read a bit and I'll check back in with you guys when I can give you a bit of a synopsis for this one. But I think before I do that, I'm going to get some of my Halloween like autumn decorations out. And yeah, then we're just going to sit and read for the rest of the afternoon. So I'll check back in with you guys in a bit. So I've just read the first 80 pages of My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. So this one follows Taylor, who goes on holiday to Cape Cod with her brother. Her brother is a panda. He like takes care of pandas in a zoo. One of his pandas has died. He's really sad, so like she feels the need to take him on holiday. So they go to Cape Cod together, and she's just about to take a bath in this big tub. That's the reason that like she bought she rented this specific house, and she discovers 2 like peepholes in the ceiling. She's really weirded out. She gets her brother to like have a look. He takes the paneling off and there's like nothing there. So she's like, okay, nothing to worry about. And then for some reason she goes like to the laundry room, and then she opens the door and there's literally a dead body. Someone has been like shot in their forehead. And this is literally the first chapter. So like she finds the body at the end of the first chapter, and he's been like beaten up, he's covered in bruises, and there's a bullet wound between his eyes. So then obviously the police come to the house, they're moved into different accommodation, and she meets the victim's sister. So the victim, I think his name's Oscar. He is the owner of the house. His sister Lisa decides to hire a like bounty hunter to find out what really happened, because the police believe that, so prior to Taylor and Jude's the brother, prior to Taylor and Jude staying in the house, a group of girls stayed there who discovered the peephole, and there was a camera behind it. It was 2 peepholes and they discovered a camera behind it. One of the girls' dads comes along and like beats the owner up after confronting him. That's why he's all bruised and bloody. So they think that this guy came back and killed him, because he's like the only one that they're aware of with a motive. But Lisa doesn't think that Oscar was like her peeping Tom, and neither does Taylor, because she thinks like the crawl space wouldn't have been big enough for Oscar to get into because he's quite a big man. So why was there 2 holes? Because if you only had a camera, it would only need to be 1 hole. So it's 2 holes for eyes. Who was actually the peeping Tom? So yeah, she sort of encourages Lisa to hire this bounty hunter, and then the bounty hunter is called Miles. We meet him, I think, in like the 3rd chapter or something. Like, and he is instantly attracted to Taylor, and he is obviously, he's not police, he's a bounty hunter, so he's like not supposed to be investigating, but he does anyway. And she's like a bit of an amateur sleuth. Like, she's listened to some true crime podcasts, and she thinks she can help him solve the case. I'm not sure about the mix of the murder mystery and like the romance, because like at one point she's broken into the house of the victim and he's there as well. He like creeps up on her, and then like she's like scared out of her mind because like he made her jump, and then like they're talking about the crime, and then the next thing they're like on the floor on top of each other and really like having sex. I'm just kind of like, whoa. Like, this is a bit weird. I don't know, like, I know it is only a short book. It's only like 270 pages, so it's not long. I knew this was a romantic kind of thriller thing, but I kind of thought the romance would maybe not be so present in the beginning of the book. It would kind of, there would be more of a build up, but like he literally meets her and then he's like talking about her nipples and stuff, and it's just like, okay, I'm not sure. It's a bit quick, but like I'm going with it. But yeah, I'm enjoying this one so far. I'm really intrigued by the mystery as well. Like, I do think this is going to be a really quick read. I'm hoping to maybe actually read this all today, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll see how I feel later on. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this one so far. And the setting's really cool as well. I think there's a bit of animosity between the townspeople and the people who rent all these like Airbnb kind of things. So there's quite a lot of properties that are Airbnbs in this town, and there's a lot of animosity between the people who live here and the renters. So I think maybe, is that gonna have something to do with the murder? I don't know. It seems a bit extreme, but you never know with these things. But yeah, really enjoying this one so far, and I'll check back in with you guys when I've got another update. Hi guys, I'm just checking back in. I have now finished My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I'm going to give this one 3 stars again. So this really felt like a romance with just a few chapters of the murder mystery thrown in, and we had a really good start. Like I said, the first chapter was when she discovered the body, and we had some really cool like investigations and theorizing, and then so that was the first 80 pages. And then it felt like the next sort of 150 was just romance. There was the murder mystery was just kind of like a background plot, and then the very last bit was resolving the mystery, and it felt like there was no clues leading up to it, and even the characters, like there was, I don't know how to explain it, but it just felt like randomly he's just having a conversation, he's just like, oh, I've solved it, and it's just like, really? And then she does the same, like they're separated and they kind of come to the same realization at the same time, just really randomly, and I'm just kind of like, okay, yeah. So this kind of felt like a romance, and then she changed up the genre last minute, just added a few bits of like thrilling aspects into it, and it just didn't really gel well together. I think either write a romance or write a thriller. I don't think this wasn't combined very well. Maybe there's other examples of it that it works really well. I feel like I did enjoy the romance, but it wasn't what I was reading this for. I wanted to read it for like a murder mystery with a little bit of romance, but it was mainly romance. So yeah, I'm going to give this one 3 stars. I did enjoy it. It was a very quick read. I read this in just over like 2 hours. It is only like 290 pages and I am quite a fast reader. So yeah, this didn't take me long to read. I had a good time, but like it was okay. It was good. I liked it, and it was 3 stars for me. That's that one done, and I can take that one back to the library tomorrow. And then moving on, the last book I'm going to be reading is The Sanatorium by Sarah Pearse. This is actually a full-on thriller book. I don't know too much about this one. To be honest with you, I picked this one up because it was only like £3 in the works, but I think this is like a companion series, like they all follow the same detective. So if I like this one, I'll probably pick up the next few, but I'll probably just read blurb out and then I'll check back in when I've read the first sort of 100 or so pages. So it says, a beautiful eerie hotel in the Swiss Alps, recently converted from an abandoned sanatorium, is the last place Detective Ellen Warner wants to be. But her estranged brother has invited her there for his engagement party, and she feels she has no choice to accept. Arriving in the midst of a threatening storm, Ellen immediately feels on edge, and things only get worse when they wake the next morning to find her brother's fiancée is missing. With access to the hotel cut off, the guests begin to panic. This is only the first disappearance. Everyone's in danger and anyone could be next. So yeah, hopefully this one is good, and yeah, we'll see what I think. Hey guys, I'm just checking back in. I have now started the last book for this reading vlog, which is The Sanatorium by Sarah Pearse. So this one follows Detective Ellen Warner, and her boyfriend go to the sanatorium, which is now a luxury hotel. Not long after it's opened, her brothers got engaged, and the fiancé is the assistant manager of the hotel. So I guess they're having an engagement party there. And at the beginning of this book, the lead architect of the hotel is attacked by a strange man in a gas mask, and his body was never found. And then that's kind of been it as far as I'm aware for the next few years. And then not long after Ellen and her boyfriend arrive, one of the cleaners goes missing on the way home. She is abducted by a strange man in a gas mask. Some family drama going on. She's looking around the hotel. There's a room filled with all the stuff from the sanatorium, all the medical stuff. It's a bit creepy. And then we've just gotten to a bit where a random guy has found the body of the architect, and he found before everyone's taken, there's a bracelet, a medical bracelet that they find with a date on. So he finds the bracelet and then he uncovers the corpse, because with it being in the Alps and stuff, I guess things can get snowed on and very easily covered up. So he's been found. We have the perspective of the guy who found him, but our characters don't know that he's been found. So Laurie, the fiance, has gone missing, but we don't know if she's just what's happened yet. Ellen suspects her brother had something to do with the death of their brother when they were very young, and yeah, there's a bit of backstory there, which I was getting a bit confused about at first, because it seemed like we should already know this. But I did check, and this is the first in this series, and it has been explained a little bit more now, what happened. So I think she's suspicious of him. She thinks he may have had something to do with Laurie's disappearance, but there's no way to prove that yet. So yeah, this is very creepy. The man in the gas mask is very well, I'm saying it's a man, it could be a woman. The person in the gas mask is very creepy. There's a Doctor Who episode with gas mask mummy things, and even now I cannot watch that episode. It creeps me out so much. So this is definitely not going to be a nighttime read if there's a gas mask villain going around, because that is going to give me nightmares. But yeah, this is good so far. Like I said, I was a bit confused at first, but I'm getting more into the story now, and it is very creepy atmosphere, with it obviously being set at an old sanatorium. Yeah, I'm really intrigued where this is going to go. I'm guessing that maybe the villain, the murderer, has got something to do with projecting to the hotel, or something to do with the sanatorium. I'm not really sure. I'm sure we'll find out a bit more as I read a bit further, and maybe I'll have a bit of a guess as to who the murderer is, or I don't even know. We know he's a murderer, but he hasn't murdered Adele, the cleaner, yet. So yeah, we'll see what I think of this one a bit later on. But yeah, I am enjoying this one so far. Hey guys, so I'm just checking back in and coming in to wrap this vlog up, as I have now finished reading The Sanatorium by Sarah Pearse. I'm really not sure what I think about this one. I enjoyed it and I read it really quickly, but I'm kind of detached from the story. I don't know, I think it was a 3 or a 3.5. I'm not really sure my rating. I think I'm gonna have to sit on it and maybe edit in a rating if I change it. But yeah, this was really good. It was interesting, the plot, the setting was really creepy, being set at an old sanatorium turned hotel, and there was artifacts from the sanatorium just dotted around the hotel. But the murder mystery, I don't really know how to explain it. It was just kind of all over the place. And I know obviously we're following the detective and she's investigating, and I guess it's the author's job to not make it obvious, but it was kind of the last I don't know, 80 or so pages, it was just kind of all over the place, and it was oh, it was this person, oh no, it was this person, oh no, it was this person, oh no, it's this person, oh no, it's this person, and it was just kind of a bit of a mess. And then when we actually got the reveal and the motive of the actual killer, I understand one of their motives for killing one of the people, but the rest of them I kind of don't. And that's kind of what I'm struggling with, is there was a lot of build up and then I kind of feel like the end was just, I don't know, a mess. I think I will continue this series. I mean, it's not like a series, it's like, I guess, companion, so I will give this, you know, the rest of them a go, because I did like it. It was just a bit all over the place. So yeah, that's this one done, and that is this vlog done as well. So we've read The Only One Left by Riley Sager, which I gave 4.5 stars. Once and Future Witches, which I gave 3 stars. My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey, 3.5 stars. And then The Sanatorium, which is going to be like 3 or 3.5. I'm not quite sure on that one. I'll have to have a think about that one. But yeah, that's it for today's video. So if you've made it this far and you enjoyed this video, please remember to like it if you've enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel for more bookish content. I post videos every Sunday, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye!